Hi, Dope. What you watching? What you watching, huh? What you watching? What you see up there? Many years ago, I had the opportunity to help out an abandoned baby raven. This tale is told in more detail in both a picture book and a short film called Bob, Huey, and Me, so I'll just give you a quick overview for those not familiar with the story. I found a very young bird that was obviously way too young to fly. Seemingly perfectly healthy, I cared for it and protected it from harm just until it could fly, and then it was free to do whatever it wanted to do. I wouldn't do this with most creatures, but ravens and crows are one of the few that even when they've had human contact, they can and generally will return to the wild all on their own rather quickly. And you really want them to, because ravens have been known to live over 50 years at the Tower of London. And I heard a report of one that made it to 80. Just think of a toddler flying with scissors for all those years. Not sure what to think about that, but it's shiny, huh? Oh. Ravens can be very destructive. I should also mention that since 1972, ravens and crows were added to the Migratory Bird Treaty Act, so for the time being, it's illegal to keep one as a pet. But there's a relationship issue I need to talk about, because in the short time I nursed this raven back into the wild, I learned ravens are more unique than I had ever dreamed they could be. After talking to many who have had similar experiences, I thought someone has got to share this. Huey, as he was named, was so young, he of course imprinted right away, and that made feeding, bathing, carting him around on my shoulder or arm, and especially playing, so much fun. As he grew and started to mature, he chose to stick around a while, so I also got to watch as he learned to deal with both friend and foe. He learned to define his own territory, and he learned to talk and make all sorts of sounds. What I especially enjoyed was watching how he chose to tease not only the other animals, both wild and domestic, but also the humans that live all throughout the neighborhood. Crows
What are those crows doing, huh?
and dogs were his favorite. Huey would fill his mouth full of fries so they were sticking out sideways and wait on the roof, wagging his tail like a dog, waiting for a group of crows to pass over, and then he'd jump up and fly into the middle, showing them the fries and encouraging the crows to chase him. I think he figured out rather quickly he didn't really need the fries. Because he was a raven, the crows would chase him anyway. Then some of the neighbors began asking, "Any idea how my dogs are getting out?" I started watching the bird, and sure enough, he'd wait till the dogs were fed, then he'd go and undo the latches on the gates, get the dogs to chase him out the gate, and then he'd close the gate and cache the dogs' food in our yard. I posted a fun YouTube video about this called Real Raven Problem Solving. In time, we entertained each other with all kinds of different game playing. There were also times we were content just to sit and tell each other stories. On a more serious note, I knew my biggest challenge was going to be how to teach Huey to fear the other animals that could harm him. Through an amazing series of events, I succeeded, but during that time I also became amazed with the bird's resolve and the relationships he developed with just about every other thing he came in contact with.
Can I show him what kind of grip you have on my arm? I can?
I was curious to see if I could see the same behavioral traits in the wild birds and if they would manifest in a similar or completely different way. So I had to find out, and that's what brought me to the wild ravens in different parts of the country. What follows is the true stories I have videotaped over the last 2 decades with the birds. I hope you will be as amazed and entertained by these truly magnificent birds as I am.